From Tally to Cali,
It's time
to wake up.
Wake up! Wake up!
Warchant.com is your ultimate Seminole sports source.
And this is Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's
Now here's Warchant.com's Aslan Hajavandi
and Corey Clark.
Wake up! What's up, everybody? It's Wake Up Warchant, proudly presented by Zaxby's. Indescribably good. Warchant.com, though, your ultimate Seminole sports source. Use the promo code WARCHANT30, gets you 30 free days of access to the website where you can read all of Corey's great articles. I shouldn't say articles, like, I don't know. I should start the whole show over again because we're already hitting a speed bump here. But I don't like calling it articles. What do you like calling the great craft that you work in and out on a daily basis, Corey? None of that made sense. Save the show. Hurry up.
Sometimes they're columns.
Okay.
That's when I have an opinion. Other times they're articles. I think articles is a fine word.
Okay.
I don't know why your hesitancy in using that word.
I don't know. It feels like what you put together in these times, just more than just an article.
Well, that's true. It's very dismissive. It's kind of just a catch-all word. They're crafted.
Exactly.
They're probably if you want to be correct, you just want to call them well-crafted stories.
Why don't you just keep writing these fictional gamers for baseball? Let's just pull up the schedule, pretend they just beat, Clemson in South Carolina, or they just beat Mercer in a midweek game, make up quotes from meat.
And then come up with just the most brutal way in the world to lose in the postseason.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That would be one way to do it. Yeah, I don't want to put more work on your back. Everybody wants us to do another happy hour like we did on Friday. I think we might. Yeah, we might do it on Thursday. I was kind of able. ESPN.com does show that 7 p.m. So Thursday is the FSU Takeover on ACC Network. And 7 p.m. they're going to replay the 99 National Championship 2000 Sugar Bowl, however you want to frame it. So we probably will do something. I don't know why we're not going ahead and just promoting it right now. We should. Let's build it up, but we don't make the final.
So that will be our happy hour, is watching that game?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, it could be. What does that mean? We just have a couple beers while we watch it?
Sure. We don't have to drink. We should call it like a social hour, like the Warchant Seminole social hour or something. It doesn't have to necessarily be fueled by hops and barley, or in my case, I don't even know. What's in a seltzer? Sugar? It's like the alcohol is sugar-based or something, I think.
Okay.
It's delicious, though.
Either way, I think there's sugar in there. But you could just drink your martinis or whatever you like to imbibe.
Seltzers, Corey. Seltzers. Respect the seltzer game. The seltzer game. But apparently the game, they're not going to replay the game the way ESPNU did the other week with the 2013 game. It's going to be condensed to a 2-hour thing, so... Which is a bit of a bummer because I can't remember the last time I've watched the 99 championship game. It would have been nice to watch the whole thing start to finish, but they'll give us 2 hours. We'll take it. We'll live it up.
I mean, what are they in a rush to? More Boston College stuff on Friday?
Well, they got to show a whole. They're showing everything Florida State in one day, so they got to kind of shoehorn it all in. They're showing both of the women's soccer national championships. They're showing the 2012 ACC tournament basketball championship. So they're showing a lot. Softball. Florida State's got a whole bunch of championships and a whole bunch of different things. There's only 24 hours in a day to celebrate it all.
Yeah, and if you're just limited to like championship games, I get it. You show the both. So they're showing 2 soccer matches, but only 1 football game.
I sent the email. I think so.
Yeah,
they're showing a whole bunch of football. I think they're showing like some ACC championship games as well too. There's just so much to choose from when it comes to football,
Well, yeah, but then choose. I wouldn't mind watching. You know what I would like to watch? I don't think I've seen it in its entirety ever because I was working the night it happened. Was the first ACC championship game?
Oh, okay.
The first ever,
Virginia Tech
with Michael Vick's little brother.
Yeah, against Virginia Tech. Actually, it's going to be like a 4-hour celebration of all that's great in the evening. So 7 p.m. will be the 99 championship game, although it says 2000. And then at 9 p.m. following that will be replay of Florida State Auburn, the 14 as it says, although we all know it's the 13.
Okay, so they are showing 2 games.
Yeah, sorry.
I was kind of hoping maybe they would do the 93.
Yeah.
game because we just did but I get it. Hey, I'm not beggars can't be choosers.
This is not the chronological order, but they're going to show Florida State against Florida men's basketball from earlier this year. They're going to show their game against number 2 Virginia from the basketball tournament. I guess, what was that, last year probably then, because they're the last team to beat Virginia. And then the 2012 ACC championship game championship game against North Carolina. Women's basketball, semifinal game against Louisville. And then football, there'll be ACC Traditions, Florida State, then Bowden Dynasty, something called Upon Further Review, which will showcase the 99 game versus Clemson, and then the 2 national title games we've discussed. Then soccer's got the 2 national championship games, and softball, they're going to play game 2 of the 2018 Women's College World Series against Washington. So it's a pretty robust offering. Really can't complain that much that they're conspiring against bringing us joy.
I would say it's the best offering that any school in the ACC could have, right?
It's
like
good.
There's only one other team that has a national championship football game you can play.
Yeah.
But then that school literally does nothing else well.
Right.
Nothing. Like they just broke their streak of losing 56 straight times in Chapel Hill in basketball. Like they do nothing. I don't even know if they have a women's basketball team. They just started softball. Literally, this was their first year. Yeah. So you could say Florida State probably has the most impactful sports program in the conference. Yeah, I feel like Florida State should get 2 days on the ACC network.
Yeah, what does that get you? What does it get you having a robust athletic department? You see Cincinnati.
You get the same amount of games as Boston College.
Yeah, you see Cincinnati cut men's soccer. It's starting to happen, Corey. It's starting to happen. The financial reckoning. It's happening.
Yeah, sure. But I get the impression, and I mentioned this on headlines too. For people that listen to both, I don't want them to think I'm acting like that. I haven't said this before. I get the impression that AD was looking for any excuse on that soccer program.
Was he?
I don't know what his deal with that coach. I'm guessing they didn't just win the Big East or whatever conference there is. Cincinnati in the Big East, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing they weren't real good. I'm guessing maybe he didn't have a great relationship with the coach or something.
AAC.
Because my man just jumped at it.
Yeah. I think they're AAC, just so we get.
Oh, okay.
But still.
What do you think their record was?
I don't know. Let's check it out. You want me to look it up?
Probably not great.
Men's soccer schedule. Let's see here. Ooh, they're 5-11-1.
Yeah. I feel like he was looking for any. Wait, somebody got sick? Soccer's got to go. Like, I think this was it might have come to that anyway, but you wouldn't just, right now, what money have they lost that they were banking on for men's soccer to survive?
The headline.
I think that was something that was probably in the works. But to your point, to the more important point, yeah, man, it is coming. If football is altered, delayed, or somehow canceled, which again, I don't think either one of us think that's going to happen.
Right.
Nobody on headlines does either. But
well, of course not. You got Ira. Ira's going to carry the flag.
Kids are going to be back in school in August.
What's that?
Ira's convinced that the kids are going to be back in school in August.
Well, that's wishful thinking. He just wants that to happen. He's trying to.
Yeah, and we all do. I hope he's right. We don't see any. I don't really see any way to that right now. But again, it's also April, so we don't have to get into that.
Do you think Brady wants to go back to school? Sorry to keep interrupting you. Do you think Brady wants to go back to school? Like, is he chomping at the bit or champing at the bit or however people say it? Like, is Brady like, I want to go back to school, Dad?
It is chomping at the bit, but I think it's spelled like champ. That's
even better.
I think it's spelled champing, but it's pronounced chomping. Yes, he does. He has not come out to me and said, "Man, I really miss school."
Okay, just checking.
He misses school because it helps a little bit that he gets to play Xbox, but he still doesn't have a phone. So the only communication, the only interaction he has with kids his own age is on the Xbox playing Fortnite for maybe an hour a day, a couple hours a day. But other than that, he has no interaction with kids his own age, and I can promise you he would love to go back to school.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, I thought maybe you were going to go back on your Cincinnati tirade or whatever, or talk about headlines. What did you say? Something? Did you get to the crux of the point that you were trying to make that you already said on headlines for the rest of our listeners?
No. Did I do think that there's going to be some cuts? I do think that that's a reality. And I think that I'm just throwing this out there. This isn't what I'm rooting for. I'm not saying this is going to happen. But as this starts happening around the country, I think maybe a couple of these sports, like a men's tennis, it'll mostly be men's sports too because of Title IX. You got to keep up. You got to have equal number of scholarships. That these schools might have to say, look, we're going to have a tennis program, but we can't pay our coaches this kind of money, and we don't have scholarships for you. Like it becomes almost like a high school tennis team. You know what I mean? Or a club team, I guess. But you can still compete. Like I think there might be maybe it's just a 6-month blip, or maybe this forever changes college athletics as we know it. In these sports that don't make any money, have never made any money, become more of like, okay, the coach gets paid a normal salary for the country. Like you're not paying a tennis assistant coach 6 figures to bring in no money. It's just not going to happen. These are all going to be walk-ons.
No way.
And you can still compete in NCAA schedule. You can still compete NCAA-wise, but it's going to be walk-ons.
No way. They got to give scholarships. They're just going to have to slash. They're going to have to regionalize it to where travel is much more feasible, I think. Like it's bus trips. If you're Cincinnati, dude, the teams you're playing Toledo, you're playing Bowling Green, you're playing whatever school is in Ohio. You're not driving down to play Tulsa, or you're not flying to play Tulsa. You're not flying to play UCF. From the Cincinnati Enquirer, the men's soccer program had $907,000 in operating expense, $181,000 in operating revenue. So like $720,000 they're siphoning away.
I wonder what the revenue was.
What's that?
Camps? I wonder what the revenue was.
Yeah, $181,000. That sounds pretty aggressive.
No, I'm saying I wonder how they got revenue.
That's what I'm saying. $181,000 sounds pretty aggressive for a tennis program to bring in money. Yeah. They're not charging people to watch these matches or whatever, so it probably is things like camps. And then the quote from the AD is, the coronavirus has allowed me to take a step back and look at the entire picture of our athletics department and what we could manage in terms of the number of student athletes that we support. When I did that, it became clear to me that this was a difficult move, but the right move. Yeah, they're going to have to still maintain the facade of student athlete, and we're here to support the student athlete, so I find it hard to believe that they're going to cut away scholarships. And I know by eliminating an entire sport, that's what they're doing, but I don't think they're going to allow sports to happen and guys are just going to walk on. They already have something. It's called club sports.
Well, but it becomes that's what. Why isn't tennis a club sport?
I don't know. Maybe they had the money. They could work. It was able to work to a certain degree. It was being subsidized by football and other things. But now it's like, all right, well, we can get rid of it. Let's do it.
Yeah, but I don't want kids to lose the ability to compete in college and play tennis. But there has to be some sensible measures done too when it comes to those kind of sports. And I just keep saying tennis because that's what we started with. That was the hypothetical we started with. I have nothing against the tennis programs, I promise. I hope nothing happens to any of the programs. Yeah. But if they were to happen, I think it's a better alternative to say, look, instead of spending whatever they spend on tennis, $1.2 million, and that doesn't even include the scholarships, we're going to cut that down to $200,000. So, a coach can live on $80,000 a year as opposed to $140,000 or $160,000 a year. And there are enough kids that would give their right arms to come play tennis at Florida State that you don't have to entice them. I just think that there will be a shift where some sports become either regionalized, which is absolutely needs to happen, and then also more of a, just you come here and you play it. Like we treat like glorified high school. You don't get recruited, at least not in most schools, you don't get recruited to go play high school tennis. You try out for the team, you make it. If it becomes a club sport, it becomes a club sport. I'm not rooting for that. I'm not hoping for that. But it's been so bizarre how college athletics has gotten to the point where they pay, they spend $500,000 on salaries for coaches that don't bring in any money. A sport that doesn't bring in any money. And I hope that doesn't happen. But how do they look? What needs to happen, honestly?
Oh, here we go. 6 minutes later, this is what really needs to happen. Lay it out, Corey.
Willie Taggart just needs to give the money back. Right? Come on, Willie. Come on, man. You got paid. Literally, he's going to get paid $1 million per game he coached. That's what it comes out to, right? Don't we think he gets like 80% of the $30 million?
Yeah.
So that's $24 million. Is that right? That's right.
I trust you.
So he's going to get like $1.2 million for every game he coached. He's going to get 1.5 for every game he won. Give some of it back. Let these tennis kids have a life, Willie. Let them go. Let them go. Let them compete. Let these coaches keep their jobs.
By the way, fan of the program, Tennis Ump, pointed out that we were asked last week about guys from Florida State, gals, women, men from Florida State who are the number one athlete in their sport. It was a question somebody asked, and he said that we perhaps, mistakenly omitted the great Paul Harhus, who was at one point apparently, I think, part of a duo that was the number one doubles duo in the nation or the world. And I guess Paul Harhus is a Florida State Seminole. I did not know that.
I don't think I did either. Tennis is a weird sport in the sense that none of the can you name a great tennis player that went to college?
No.
Like a great one. I know John Eisner went to Georgia. Pern Fors, who was back from my day in the 80s that made maybe a couple semifinals and Grand Slams, he went to Georgia. But it's the one sport out of the swimmers still go. The swimmers swim in college. I don't think Phelps did. He trained there, but a lot of them do. And all the golfers go to college in this country anyway. So tennis is the one. Baseball, basketball, most of them, or a good portion of them, go to college. Tennis is the one where I don't know that any of them go to college. The great ones on either side, men's or women's. It's a weird sport like that.
It is. Trying to pull it up. Can't really. There's no.
You looking up all-time great?
Yeah.
I think McEnroe went.
Okay.
To Stanford.
Really?
I think so. Let me look that up.
Okay. I'm trying to see who's. Yeah, it's, breaking down the top 10 singles players in college tennis. This is what people come to Wake Up Warchant for. I hope you all love this because I can't speak about my affinity for Dr. Fauci. It hurt someone's feelings the other day, so that person whose feelings were hurt, apologies. Hope they've been mended. The crazy thing is, I don't get too far.
Yeah, he went to Stanford. How about that?
Look at you. Let's go, Corey Clark. Let's go.
So that McEnroe, Tiger Woods. Well done, Stanford. I guarantee you Stanford's going to survive. I bet they don't have to cut any sports.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All right, so I wanted to ask you this before I diverted you to the whole tennis budgetary cut thing that's probably going to happen. It's crazy, man. Cincinnati was losing. There's board of trustees, there's athletic department meetings. How do you have a meeting every year where you walk in and there's 4 or 5 sports that literally are losing you between, $400 and $1.4 million annually. And it's like, all right, yeah, well, let's keep it going. We'll see you guys next year. It's bizarre. But again,
well, it's also I don't want to dismiss what they do for the university and what they do for these people's lives. I think it's really neat that you can get college scholarships to go play these sports. I don't think it needs to be such a bottom line business. It obviously isn't because they don't make money. And I think part of the, I champion these people to be able to get educations and get their educations paid for at being good at golf or swimming or tennis or diving. That's awesome. I don't want to negate that. I'm just saying in this current climate, when you take a step back like this Cincinnati AD did, and it's again, I think he's using it as an excuse. I think he could have, I guess you want to cut it now if you're going to cut it, if you know you're going to cut it. But when you're looking at the totality of an athletic department now and the money that's being brought in and the fact that jobs are on the line, you might have to make some sacrifices that you don't want to make. But 5-6 years ago, or if this SEC schools, they make tons of money. They've got plenty of money to give to their women's tennis team. LSU does. So I don't want to say that it was dumb for them to do that because I don't think that was their purpose. Obviously, this isn't a money making endeavor. Any of these other sports. But now when the problem though is when you're so dependent on one sport, and that one sport gets crippled, and the money dries up, well then you're going to have a real problem. But otherwise, if they weren't dependent on football, would we have college tennis right now? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
UCLA is home to Jimmy Connors, Southern Cal, Stan Smith. I think Adidas made a shoe. Arthur Ashe also went to UCLA. So tennis ump. Don't worry about it. You can delete the email. We named some great tennis players that played college tennis.
So, but none of them in the last 40 years.
That is correct. Yeah, man. I mean, tennis right now it's practically like 90% international players. When I was in Bozeman at Montana State, everybody on the Montana State tennis team was international. I mean, it doesn't bother me.
Well, and I think the Florida State women's tennis team, they're all international.
Yeah. So.
But what's crazy is I guess the Bollettieri school.
Yep.
And all that stuff came to fruition like in the mid-'80s or I guess early to mid-'80s because Jim Courier, back when America had male tennis players, right. Courier, Agassi, Sampras, Chang,
Capriati.
I think all those guys went down there, right?
Yep, that is right.
And then they became professionals when they were 18 or 17. Chang won the French Open when he was 17.
Look at you. Keep it going, Corey. We're not stopping. We're going to go tennis. We're minute 21. We're still going tennis here. We're lobbing it up, overhand smash.
Well, I know you're a big fan now. You and I used to get out there on the courts and hit it around a little bit.
City of Tallahassee straight, taking the nets down. Give me back my nets. I did want to ask you this, and we'll start pivoting here. We're going to have DJ Matthews on the show come up here in a minute, talking about how he's staying busy and his thoughts on going one-on-one against Travis J, things of that nature, fun things. If you could only watch one national title game, and it's part of the questions that I put out there for the Renegade Express, post your questions. We'll get to them either tomorrow or Friday, rather. If you could only watch one of the national title games, like last shot, only time you can watch it ever again, would you want to watch 93, 99, or 13?
99.
Oh, okay. Well,
there was more scoring. You had Peter Warwick. It was a close game in the fourth quarter. So I had all the – but there was – I think the 93 game, Florida State just scored one touchdown the whole game. And even that wasn't a touchdown because Floyd fumbled before he got to the end zone.
Don't say that.
No, he definitely did. But I think they scored on the play before. So that's what that was always my counter when a fan would say, oh, they stole that national championship. It's like, yeah, he fumbled before he got to the end zone and they called it a touchdown. But the play before, I think Florida State got in. It might have even been him. I can't actually remember who it was.
What?
And I know, isn't that weird?
Absolutely.
And they didn't call it a touchdown.
Okay. All right, let's talk football then. Florida State added their third different transfer in, I don't know, like the last 7-8 days or so. Fabian Lovett, defensive tackle from Mississippi State. Name probably doesn't sound familiar to folks. Maybe it does. Some people who read headlines. He was a player. There's a couple players that had a reaction to a Mike Leach tweet last week or maybe 2 weeks ago. He's now the head coach of Mississippi State, in case you haven't been keeping up. But he tweeted something out. It was deemed maybe perhaps a little bit tone deaf or insensitive. In the state of Mississippi, this player tweeted out a reaction, kind of not appreciating what Mike Leach tweeted out, and then his father talked to some people in the media. Anyhow,
why are you speaking in such generalities? Get specific.
Well, then you get people's feelings get hurt. Then it's like you're making a political line. You're making it political.
It's not political to talk about a tweet with a woman tying a noose.
Yeah. So apparently,
that's what happened.
Mike Leach tweeted out a photo meme about quarantine life. Basically, we're all having to be around each other. And it was a wife knitting something for her husband in the midst of the quarantine, and it was a noose because the husband's getting on her nerves. Ha, ha, ha. However, a noose presents a lot of different imagery, especially for the people in the state of Mississippi. This is
frankly, it doesn't matter what you guys, whoever's listening to this, whether you're outraged by that tweet or you think it's a much ado about nothing. It really doesn't matter. I'm certainly not taking a stance either way, but it mattered to this kid.
Right.
And that's why that's one of the reasons he's now at Florida State, which is the reason we're talking about it.
Right. So he's a defensive tackle. Trying to pull up his stats here. 19 tackles, 1 sack. In 2019, he was a redshirt freshman. He's got 3 years of eligibility remaining. He's going to apply for a waiver to try to get instant eligibility. I would think he probably has a pretty good case. Wasn't this kind of, there was racial sort of tones in terms of what allowed old boy from Georgia to go to Ohio State, right? Justin Fields? Like that was part of his.
Yeah, I mean it was nonsense, but yeah, it was I guess some viral video of a fan, not even a baseball player, Georgia baseball player.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly the details. Saying a racial slur in regards to Fields, and then Fields left for Ohio State.
Stop unscrewing your bottle. Tighten up, Corey. We're doing a show.
Oh, did you hear that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Still hearing it.
But I wasn't doing it.
Sounds
you
like
can hear it right. You can hear that right now.
Yeah, it sounds like you actually. Now I'm thinking about it, we've gone like 30 minutes into this. I wonder if it's even picking up your microphone today, or if it's picking up your internal microphone on your laptop.
No, I'm twisting the camera that Gene gave us with the light.
Oh.
It's not on my computer. It's just sitting to the side of me, and I was just twisting it just because I.
Is the camera plugged into your computer?
Yeah.
I think it's actually taking audio. Oh. I don't think the microphone you're holding usually is. Like, tap the microphone. All right, maybe it is working. Anyhow,
I just unplugged it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe that. No, look at you. You sound so much better, Corey.
Okay, good. If we made it work. Awesome. Want to restart it?
So that was a good segue. That gets us off a serious thing to become a little bit more lighthearted. So it works out perfectly. So Fabian Lovett, I know somebody who's in the that works for the program at Mississippi State. Texted him, asked him, is Florida State going to be all right? Or they get a good player? All he offered up was, yes, he's a good player. And then my buddy who works in the media in Jackson, Mississippi, when I asked him, what is Florida State going to get with Fabian Lovett transferring to Tallahassee, and his thoughts on it, I'm trying to pull it up here. He says, soft, should fit right in. So, but now he is guy that when player commits to his school, yeah, awesome. And then once that kid flips on sign day, he's like, whatever, trash. So there you go. You have a professional take, and then the fans take. By the way, if you're that guy or gal, use this time maybe to kind of work through some feelings and emotions, to not be that person that really likes a player when they pick your school, and then when they flip, then you're like, we didn't need him anyways. Stop that. Just stop it. But defensive tackle, again, third different transfer Florida State's been able to get. You can't do a lot of hands-on coaching right now, obviously. I continue to remain impressed by Florida State's proactiveness in pursuing players to help bolster things. I mean, listen, they need offensive tackles. They need pass rushers. They've been getting guys that maybe don't quite fit that, but this is a player that I think is a 4-star coming out of high school. And my buddy kind of clarified his thoughts. He was joking around about calling him soft or whatever, but they've had some pretty good players come through Mississippi State recently, especially on the defensive line. He didn't think he was that kind of game-changing first-round talent. But he's a young kid, good size, has been well coached at Mississippi State here for the last year and a half. And come on down to Tallahassee, man. Enjoy yourself. Hey, man, they're doing a good job, I think, of adding guys as best they can. Although maybe a quarterback wouldn't be a bad idea either, or maybe that's on the horizon. I'm sorry, Corey. I didn't mean to overload you. You have nothing else to say. I just said everything for you, didn't I?
I'm motioning at Brady. Brady, get out of here now.
What a great show this is. So let me get his stats for you. We already named the stats, so let's get his measurables for you, folks. So he's 6'4", 315 pounds defensive tackle. That's good.
Okay, I like that.
I'll take that.
That's beef.
I'll take that. He did all of his damage in the span of 5 games. Louisville, Ole Miss, Abilene Christian, Alabama, and Arkansas. So he actually had 2 tackles against Bama, tackle against Arkansas, 1 against Abilene. I'm guessing it's Abilene Christian. It's ACU. I can't think of any other ACUs. 2 against Ole Miss and 3 against Louisville in their bowl loss. So there we go, man. It's just, it's good to see, infusion of talent being made. Because despite the fact that the defensive line is a strength of this defense, maybe the strongest segment of the entire team, it's always helpful. Again, man, bring in new guys, not so much culture changers, but just guys that maybe haven't been around the nonsense of the last 2 seasons that are hungry and want an opportunity and, heck, are physically gifted and talented. Not a bad thing.
And he's also young.
Yeah,
he's a sophomore, right?
Yeah, he'll be a redshirt. He's a redshirt freshman. So he's got 3 years.
So that to me, because he's not going to start this year unless something goes woefully wrong. He's not going to beat out Marvin Wilson and Corey Durd and Cooper, and those guys are going to play the majority of the snaps. But 2 of those guys are leaving after this year. Yeah. So that's a nice pickup to have for 2021 and beyond.
He was a 3-star, by the way. I'm sorry, everybody. I didn't mean to lead you astray with false information. He's a 3-star. So, And then again, obviously,
good job, Mike Leach.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting or whatever. But then I also asked my buddy who works for the program, like, how's your new boss? He says, great, laid back, nice guy. So we'll see. We'll see how that works out. I feel like I need to start calling him, because when I do call him every now and then, he's very much more forthcoming. Like when I text him, it's very curt. It's just, yeah, he's good, or haven't heard. I think he almost, like, it's because it's on the record almost, even more so. Like it's a text message. Maybe but it's not like I'm not going to burn him. I'm not going to take a screenshot and give the Saturday Down South. Like, SEC staffer says this about Mike Leach. Are you ever scared about that, Corey? Do you ever hold out on me? Like when I text you stuff? Like, are you afraid I'm going to
I don't know who's going to do a Freedom of Information Act. I assume they can get my, I don't really work for the government, so they probably couldn't. But if I'm ever in a criminal case and they want to go back and reread my old texts, I might be in trouble either way.
Hey, let me ask you this.
We all send texts that we probably don't want publicized.
I think there's a friend I know that's like, hey, man, if I ever die, get to my phone before anybody else does and destroy it. Just because of like the nature of some text messages in a group text. I'm like, I got you.
Sure. Man. We all have that. Everybody listen to this. Most everybody listen to this has a group text or two where you might cringe if other people are reading it.
Yeah. Otherwise, slim pickings in terms of trying to argue about stuff relating to Florida State. There is a recruiting retrospective that's been up for a few days now. As you listen to this, the 2010 recruiting class we went over. And by we, Gene went over. I simply kind of moderated, if you will. Gene has all the information on that. It's a really good write-up and breakdown. Also, a video's up there. Is this my nature, Corey? Is it just I'm that weird of a guy that I'm more interested. I think I'm more interested. I'm more intrigued. I'm more curious about looking back and studying things that went wrong, rather than looking back and, I don't know, like celebrating or pointing out things that kind of went right. Like we were talking about, he's like, yeah, I think the 2010, this one's going to get a lot more people excited and involved because we had done 2002 through 2005. None of those classes really fleshed out into anything serious. I mean, there was some, players, some fan favorites, Leon Washington, Lorenzo Booker. That's probably about it.
Pat Watkins, Cromartie.
Okay, there we go. There, Ernie Sims, the third.
Deshaun Platt.
Yeah, that's right. He's out there somewhere. Somebody get his number. Tell him to give me a call. 850-792-5730. Let's get him on the show. But yeah,
was that your real number, or was that
It's the
call-in number?
It's a call-in number. I'm not giving out.
Oh, okay. I was like, did Aslan just give out his real number?
Remember when I read out DeAndre Francois' address on the show? Sorry about that, by the way, DeAndre. Somebody got so upset at me for doing that. And I was like, hey, man, I was in a police report.
Why did you do that?
I don't know. I'm like Ron Burgundy. I read whatever's on the teleprompter.
No, what was the context of it? Everybody, here's DeAndre's address?
No, it was when he got the whole sting operation thing where the city of Tallahassee or Leon County Sheriff
it was in the police report.
Yeah, so I just kind of read it.
That's okay. Yeah, I was like, man, why would you just randomly read, like, hey, guys, he threw 2 more picks. Here's where he lived.
Oh, man. Leave the URL for the transfer portal on his front step. So I did that. Apologize for that. But where was I going with this? But I don't know, just there's something in me, and somebody asked this on the Renegade Express last week, and we didn't get to it because I'm like, if I talk about this, it's going to be like 20 minutes long, and I'm not going to do it for 20 minutes. But, I would love to watch a 30 for 30 on the 2013 team. It started off a great preseason, this quarterback battle, this, Elite 11 5-star kid from Alabama that everybody says has got the goods. There's a coach's son battling, and, all these different sort of push and pull things. A fellow Alabamian that's a hardworking kid, blue collar, although he's from Mobile and went to a private school and really doesn't fit that mold. It would be a good thing, right? And then you see the slow rise of this team, and they just start dismantling everybody. Then a scandal pops down in the middle of it all, and they overcome that, and they win a national title. Yeah. I want a 30 for 30 on the 2014 team. Like, I am more intrigued. I have more questions when it comes to 2014. Like, if we did something on the 2013 team, like, I get it. I know we won it. We killed everybody. We were awesome. Best team ever. But like 14, it's like what went wrong to me, I think. Maybe it's because we do this for a living to a certain degree. Like we have to talk and, not debate, but, just kind of, I don't know. I just feel like it makes for better conversation. Like when you talk about like what went wrong, what if, other than like, this is what happened and it was awesome. Remember that? But I guess maybe that's because I'm a weird guy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that's just you. I think you're a glass half empty kind of guy.
Really? Okay.
Just in life. Yeah. I think you. But it's probably a little more interesting to talk about the stuff that went wrong. But I'll be honest with you, man. I'm ready to talk about a good football team again, and all the things that went right.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely. We've been doing this long enough. In that 14 season, I remember. I feel like it took like 3 or 4 years off my life. Because it was my first year as a columnist. I read left. I went from being the beat writer at the Democrat to being the columnist. And I had to write about that football team. And not just every Saturday night. I couldn't even start writing until 1 minute was left in the game. But then every morning or every afternoon, you didn't know what was going to come up next because the New York Times had decided to rent a townhouse in Tallahassee. And, all they found was BB guns. But heaven forbid they wrote enough stories, and so did everybody else, and it became this just attack on Florida State football culture as if it was any different than any other football town in America. And it got to the point where you felt like you were having to be defensive about the city you live in every day. And that was the most exhausting year. But 2013 was awesome. I'd relive that again in a heartbeat. I'm biased. You weren't around, but I'm biased about if I wanted. I get why you would want to watch 14, but I'm more of I'd want to see the rise. I'd want to see how nervous they were before the Pitt game, and then man, even after the BC game, they're like, man, is our defense any good? Is it truly good? Do we know what we have here? And then, they flipped that switch and became what they became.
All right, that's fair.
So what did that have to do with the 2010 recruiting class?
Well, just because I have more interest.
You look at all the guys that missed.
Yeah, I get it, man. 2010, we get it. It was the foundation. LaMarcus Joyner, Telvin Smith, Terrence Brooks, Christian Jones. I get it. It's awesome, and it really is awesome. My guy Jimbo, he did it.
Wasn't Bjorn? Bjorn Werner was a part of that class too, right?
Bjorn was there as well. Yeah, Will Tye. He ended up having a cup of coffee in the league. Who'd have thunk about that? And I think would he go to Stony Brook or something? Finish his career out in Stony Brook and then goes to the NFL, play for the Giants for a little bit.
Is that where he went? Stony Brook?
I think. Actually, don't quote.
I'll look it up. You keep talking.
Actually, I should look it up, and you should talk. I've been talking too much.
Look it up, Corey. Look it up.
See, I really want to get the Animals to chant that at the game sometime this year, and we could have just recorded it once and then use it in the show. But my thing is, yeah. The 2003 recruiting class to me was so terrible. That to me is way more intriguing than talking about like the 2010 class. And listen, I don't enjoy failure or defeat. I hate losing more than I like winning. And I'm probably talking out both sides of my mouth here because something like, Survive and Advance on ESPN, that 30 for 30, talking about the 83 NC State team, that was remarkable. That to me is probably one of the 5 best 30 for 30s. I mean, they won in it. But like the way it was done, you learned so many new things. I think for me, a large degree of it is like, what are we going to learn that's new when we talk about the 2010 recruiting class? What do we ever learn that's new when we talk about 2013 or 99 or 93? I think like there's just so many things that come from these, sports tragedies. And again, like that's why I qualified it by calling it like a sports tragedy. To me, it's so much more compelling. It's like there's richer storytelling in it. And those are the sort of things that, I don't know, when I do get answers to it, I'm much more kind of comforted and get the closure than I get when I start celebrate the good old days. But I love the good old days. I do want to win again as well. I want to go to a bowl game where they don't give us a folding chair as the bowl gift. I want a nice backpack or a Yeti cup again or a backpack, I want these things. Did you find the answer, Corey?
Yeah, you're right. He did go to Stony Brook.
Okay.
Look at you, buddy. He was an undrafted free agent and then ended up being he was the first player from Stony Brook to reach the NFL, and he played 2 seasons for the Giants.
Let's go. What are they, the Seawolves or something like that, Stony Brook?
I mean, I'm not going to go that far, but he's from Connecticut. I do remember that.
Yeah.
Wasn't Bjorn from Connecticut? I mean, I know he's from Germany, but didn't they went to the same school, right?
Pretty sure. Yeah, Gene was saying that apparently they went up there for Will Tye, and then when they were scouting him, it was like, who's this guy?
Yeah, I think he was the afterthought of
Right.
those two guys. Ty's the guy that Jimbo talked glowingly about the body and the size and speed and everything.
Yeah.
And then Bjorn ended up. And what's funny is I remember talking to someone, and I can't remember who it was. I can't even remember if it was an offensive lineman or a defensive lineman. But we asked them, it was like the second or third day, and we asked the player, the veteran, let's just say it was Vince Williams. Okay. And we asked him, hey, man, have any of the new freshmen stood out? And he goes, I don't know the guy's name, but number 95 is a beast. And we're all like, oh, who's number 95? And we looked down, and it was Bjorn Werner. So nice. I'm saying Vince Williams. I don't think it was Vince Williams. That's just the first name that popped to mind. But the players knew, even before they knew his name, they knew that, oh, man, 95 can really play. Yeah. And they were right.
They were correct. All right. I'm done with tangential storylines to keep this podcast going for the day. You want to talk to DJ Matthews? Should we play the interview?
Well, let's play the interview, and then when are we doing this again? Thursday?
Yeah, and we'll record it for Friday. Or we can record it on Wednesday for Thursday, but we've been doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday for the last few weeks. So
okay. All right. Yeah.
I don't think it's broke, so no need to fix it, right?
Absolutely, my man. Absolutely.
All right. Order some Zaxby's, go to the drive-thru or a food delivery app, and then enjoy this lovely sit-down that Corey and I had with DJ Matthews.
Some call them lunchtime lifesavers. Others call them the most perfect sandwiches to ever exist. At Zaxby's, we just call them our signature fan favorites. The Southern TLC Filet Sandwich has hand-breaded chicken with fresh tomato and crisp lettuce. The famous Kickin' Chicken Sandwich features spicy tongue torch and Cool Ranch sauces. And for a limited time, fried pickles are back. 2 classic sandwiches and a legendary appetizer. 3 more reasons you're going to get a kick out of Zaxby's.
As promised here on Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's, we've got a guest. We've got DJ Matthews, wide receiver for your Florida State Seminoles, joining us here on the show. DJ, thanks for taking time out. How you holding up, man?
I'm holding up good.
Well, we'll start off on a simple note here. I guess, everybody just wants to know, what are you guys doing? I think everybody kind of forgets that you guys are still student athletes, and there's that student part of things, and you're still taking classes. But when you're not doing the online classes, and what are you kind of doing to try to stay sharp and more than anything, just stay busy in these kind of weird times we're in right now?
Right now, as you see, we're going through, a bit of an adjustment. So we all just trying to take accountability right now, just find ways to get better, without the coaches being around. We're working on accountability. We're just doing the right things with nobody around. What Coach Norvell has been emphasized since he got here. We're just working on our plan.
I don't want to get you in trouble. I know it's there's only so much coaching they can kind of do from a distance for you guys. But, we talked to Coach Storms, the strength coach, and he mentioned that he has sort of a schedule in terms of trying to get a hold of certain guys on certain days and things like that. Are you in communication at all with Coach Dugans or Coach Norvell, or how much of it is just simply, listen, just you got to stay ready?
We pretty much talk to we're allowed to talk to them every day. So we talk to them. They they're not really giving us too much. They're asking us we're working out. They're making sure we're working out, even if it's by ourselves. They just want us to stay active, stay in shape, and just steady.
So what does your workout consist of? I think most people might think you're in Jacksonville right now, but you actually said you're in Tallahassee. So I don't know how long you've been back in Tallahassee, but when you were in Jacksonville, what were you trying to do physically in terms of workouts? Was it something that, the strength staff has put together for you, or is it just you trying to figure out ways to get in some work while you're kind of away from campus?
It was kind of went off our old sheets that we were doing earlier this spring, and I kind of did my own thing. But a few players who I worked out with, who was back home from college in the pros. So it's kind of been a mixture of both, getting a little bit of upper body, lower body workout in the weight room.
How do you feel? Like, how do these, it's not being in the weight room, doing squats and cleans and stuff like that, but these sort of outdoor workouts that we see everybody on Twitter doing, like, how do you feel physically right now?
I feel good. Like I say, man, we just trying to find a way. Just grind through it all.
So DJ, there's a playbook now, I think. So for you guys, with only getting kind of 3 practices in, you only got kind of a small sample, I guess, of what this offense can be like. But what were your kind of initial impressions of going through not only the tour of duty stuff earlier in the offseason, but just that 1 week of practice, I guess, and what this offense can be? I mean, what were your initial thoughts?
I actually love the playbook. I love what Coach Norvell is doing. It can be dangerous. It's just we have to make sure that we have the same, that we're on same communication. We have to speak the same terminology because it's big. Like it's very important that you get every detail to it. So I feel those first few days were critical that we did have them, even though that we didn't make it through the whole spring. But I feel those first couple of days were critical for us. The playbook is nice, but it's tough to get.
Hey DJ, when I've talked to a bunch of players that have talked about the attention to detail that these coaches have, when it comes to your position, or just what you saw in the first 3 months that they've been on campus, what does that mean when you guys are talking to how much attention to detail these coaches or Coach Norvell talk about? What does that mean in your case?
It means a lot. Like everything goes to something. Like everything Coach Norvell speaks on, it correlates with something else, and it's just big because you have to be paying attention at all times, or you just may miss something little that's very important.
Man, when did you realize you guys had your practice and then you left for spring break? When did you realize how serious this thing was in our country? And oh man, there's we might not have spring practice again. Like, when did it click with you guys that, or you in particular, that, man, my life's about to change, and I hope we can get back to practice, I don't know, in May or June?
Yeah, actually, it clicked a couple of days when I went home. I guess it was like a little message going around. I'm not sure if the message was real or not, but it was just like a lot of rumors. So then I ended up seeing that the NBA canceled their season. So I was like, dang, if the NBA canceled their season, I know that would, push cancel a lot of other things.
And I was talking to Raymond Woody a couple days, maybe yesterday, and just asking him, like, I'm having a hard time, and I'm in my 40s, so I'm better at staying inside than I would imagine somebody in their 20s is. But how are you not staying bored? How are you not going stir crazy? And maybe even more importantly, how much do you miss sports? Like the NBA playoffs should be on right now. We should have just had the Final Four. How much are you missing sports, and how hard is it for you to stay inside? Just how hard is it for you, man?
I mean, I miss sports so much, man. We can't even wake up and watch. We have to watch those sports. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that, but I'd rather watch today's game. As far as going outside or going anywhere, it's kind of tough because I kind of want to be around. I want to be around my teammates and my coaches, learning this playbook because it's a very important year for us. But I mean, like I say, we just have to adjust move accordingly, and just continue to do what Coach Norvell wants us to do.
Like DJ, yourself, I mean, you're a young, healthy guy, but we've seen that this thing kind of affects everybody. I mean, do you have any concerns about, I guess, how safe it would be to go back and actually start playing sports?
I don't have no concern. I believe all trainers and all doctors will have us in the best position when it's time for us to go back.
And for you last year, I can't believe, we're coming up on your senior season, right, DJ?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's crazy to think that 4 years could go by this quickly. Going into last season, Kendall Browse had so much positive and encouraging things to say about you, and I know things didn't work out maybe the way you kind of had intended on a personal level as well as a team level. And this, I'm sure, being away from campus, coming back to campus is kind of maybe throwing you for a curve. But just for you personally, what kind of talks are you having with yourself to really dial in and make the best of what 2020 could be?
Could you repeat that? You kind of went in and out.
Oh, my bad, man.
My end.
Just, going into this last season, you're going to get this question probably 100 more times. But just, for you personally, how kind of important is it to seize this last season that you're going to have? And what do you are you trying to do anything different?
I wouldn't say I'm trying to do anything different. At this point, I just need to show what I can do on the field when it's time at this point. I know the whole world know what I can do. I know my family know what I do. My coaches know what I can do. It's just up to DJ to show what I can do. And I mean, I'm not going to force it. It's not something I'm a force. I'm play football. Just same game I've been playing my whole entire life. And, it's going to come to me. It's not my timing. It's God's timing. It's like I have nothing to do with the timing. It's going to come to me. That's all I can say. I thank God for everything I've been through my last 3 years. It only makes me stronger. And I've gotten better. I've been grown, which just in all type of ways. So I just, like I said, it's God's timing. It's not my timing. It'll pan out.
DJ, I wanted to ask you real quick about Travis J. We now we get to watch practice, and Travis had a hard time with you. Let's be honest. We're just buddies talking. Travis couldn't guard you one-on-one, but that doesn't mean Travis J can't be a really good player. How much do you think him being matched up with you and just how quick and dynamic you are can help him later in his career?
Oh, Travis J, he's gonna be a great cornerback. He's still young. He's still learning. I'm ahead of the game, so I'm older than him. So certain things I'm supposed to do, he's still learning, taking coaching. And that's the best thing about Travis J. He take coaching from his coaches. So I believe once he really understands the game and get it down, he's gonna be a hell of a cornerback.
Was there a reason? Did y'all make it so he was always on you, or did that just happen to be the case in a few of the one-on-ones?
I'm not sure, but I know in my mind, in his mind, I believe he want to take every rep with me. I know Travis J. He likes competition, so he's not backing down for anyone.
And doesn't that say something about him too? Maybe that, look, man, he just had a hard time keeping up with you. He's a little bigger. You're very quick and fast. But he, instead of going and maybe I'm going to get the walk on this time, he kept coming back to you. It seems like he wants to challenge himself to try to get better.
Yes, sir. At all the time, that's Travis J. He want to guard the best man on the field, and he'll tell you that even when we're not practicing, he'll let you know that, bro. I want to go with you every time. Like, you're gonna make me better. He tell me that. He's been telling me that since last year.
DJ, is anything different for you now that you're back in Tallahassee? Or how long were you in Jacksonville, or have you been here most of the time?
Oh, I've been here pretty much most of the time. I was only in Jacksonville for maybe like 4 or 5 days.
DJ, what's DJ stand for?
Dakar, and probably Matthews Jr.
All right. I like that, man. Just want to make sure. You never know. You never know. All right, man. We appreciate your time. DJ Matthews, emerging senior wide receiver for the Florida State Seminoles, joining us here on Wake Up Warchant, presented by Zaxby's. Oh, actually, one last thing, since we just mentioned Zaxby's, DJ. How you eating, man? That's one thing that Corey and I keep talking about on the show like every single day. We're like, I wonder what the kids are eating these days. Because you don't have the training table. You ain't got the smoothie bar. Like, I mean, you obviously, your game is predicated on speed and finesse. So you're not in there eating honey fried chicken with Marvin every day. But, like, what are you doing to keep fit in terms of diet?
Keeping a lot of groceries, man. I got to keep a lot of groceries. They actually we have some food delivered from us from the school. So we eating that. Steak. Love steak. Eating a lot of steak.
All right. How do you make your steaks? On the oven, or do you grill them out?
I like them in the oven.
Okay. I'm just coming around to that, but it makes me and my buddies were talking about this. It just makes the apartment so smoky. You know, like when you sear it on the stovetop and then you put it in the oven. I got to take off the smoke detectors. I got to open up every window. It's tough living out here, DJ. It's tough living out here, man.
Yeah, I don't like doing skills.
All right, DJ, we'll let you get back to working out and enjoying your steaks, man. Maybe next time you can give us the Matthews family recipe on how to make the best steak. We appreciate your time, man. Hang in there, and hopefully we'll see you soon out there making plays.
All right, thank y'all. Go Noles.
Warchant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. Warchant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WARCHANT30. That's WARCHANT30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WARCHANT30. Warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.